Welcome everyone, James here. A few weeks back I did a video on some fish room disasters. I talked about some things recently that had gone wrong, and I had hoped by this point of this video things had started to go okay again, but as luck would have it, unfortunately something went wrong once more in my fish room. Now I made this video and I pushed a couple of other videos that I had scheduled forward just because this relates to last week's video about my DIY sump that I had connected to this reef tank. And the reason why I would talk about it is I had a major problem, and that was something to do with the sump. In terms of stability of the sump, I thought everything was okay. And I thought that it was pretty foolproof, other than if something affected the airflow going out, or the water flow, sorry, going out into the sump. And that's exactly what the problem happened. It turns out one of my fish got a little bit close, my green chromis got a little bit close to the intake, and because I didn't have a cover on it, basically what happened is I was just waiting for some parts to arrive, so I was getting a nice plastic sort of return pump, and then like a spray bar as well or something for the other side, just to tidy it up, as I said in that video. But yeah, the green chromis got really close to the pipe, got his face sucked into it, and that stopped the water flow from going into the sump. And consequently what happened is the water was still being pumped from the sump into my aquarium. So what had happened is this aquarium started filling up, ended up flooding all of the unit here and all down below, and emptying the sump itself. And then as I walked in sort of to feed my fish that evening, I smelt this burning smell, and I think what it was my heater, and the heater was sort of still on, but there was no water in it. So luckily for me, the heater didn't sort of break or explode or anything like that. It just sort of was trying to heat up. Now, from a bit of research that I've done, I think most heaters these days have the ability to kind of switch off if they're exposed to air, you know, and not submerged in the water, and they won't then sort of explode. But I have heard stories, and as with anything electrical, you know, it can happen. But I think for me, I was lucky enough that the heater didn't explode and cause me any problems, but I was still so gutted. And it was just one of those things again where it just makes you feel really bad. You know, my anxiety and stress went through the roof. Yeah, usual stuff. You know, and then you kind of go through that period where you think, oh, is it worth it? You know, do I really want to continue? It's just one of those momentary things, but you know, it does happen and it goes through your mind. But I think everything's okay for the moment until I can figure out what the hell I want to do with that sump and can make it work better. Then I've just disconnected it. I know that you can kind of put like a ball valve on the sump. I know a lot of reefers do that. They can buy one, and then once the water hits a certain level, that will just trip the electric and turn off, say, the water pump, so it doesn't end up flooding your aquarium. So it just sort of goes to show that that may be an option of what I need to do in the future. Luckily enough, everything else is okay. I just don't like causing the stress on the fish. That's a lot to go through, especially when the heater was in there, so the water in here started cooling down, which was really stressful. So I put another heater that I had spare, because I don't know if I trust that old heater now. I don't want any problems with you know, this tank losing its heat. So for now I've got a spare one in there. Yeah, and I'm just going to leave B for now until I can figure out what I want to do going forward. That's it really. That's all I want to talk about. It's one of those live and learn lessons, but you know me, I like to make a video on it and sort of share my experiences with everybody else, especially the heater thing. One thing that I did struggle to find was details on if heaters, you know, catch fire or if they explode and stuff. And I know you read those odd horror stories, but there's not a lot of actual evidence or, you know, no guarantees or any information on a lot of aquarium heater companies' websites about it. So it does sort of make you wonder what actually happens. I had a fear of God moment when I was laying in bed at 3 o'clock last night, thinking, is my shed now going to catch on fire? But I think that I just need to get over the fact that aquarium heaters can burn my shed down if my tanks explode or leak or anything like that. It's just one of those things. I guess if you're looking at it from electronics point of view, the heaters aren't like ridiculously powerful or anything, so the electrical charge that comes from them might not be as high, so it might not cause a big fire. Plus they're in like glass containers or perspex ones. So that's all I've got to say on the matter really. Hopefully things are going to start to level out for me soon. I seem to be having a lot of really bad luck since moving to my fish house, but I really hope that things will settle down and we can sort of keep going forward. If you have any experiences with aquarium heaters or sumps or anything that you think might be able to help me going forward, please let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I am very, very close to the 1K mark now. We're not far off. I should hit the 1K by Christmas, which is my target. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you so much. And until next time, you stay safe.